Hi everyone, welcome back to Asia. My name is David, and something amazing happened to me recently. I was featured on the news about a story on digital nomads, and so I thought it'd be really fun just to see that video and watch me react to myself being on TV. So here we go.
On the other side of the world, in Bangkok, Thailand, David Tan has lived a digital nomad life for the past 3 years.
I think for a lot of nomads, the sweet spot is anywhere from 1 to 3 months. So yeah, of all the places that I've been to, I usually stay between 1 to 3 months. That's a sweet spot, as I mentioned in the video. I rarely find anyone who stays under a month. I did meet one person who would go to a new place every month. So like 12 places in a year, sometimes even more. For him, being in one place for too long was just maddening for him, so that's why he needed to travel. And then some people go to a new place, they love it, and they end up staying half a year. Maybe they make a life and put down roots. So it kind of all depends what you want to do. But yeah, there's a big range of sort of people in terms of how they decide how long to stay in one place.
Since 2019, his lifestyle has taken him around the world, living in 15 countries on 5 continents. He's a former software engineer who now freelances. David's built a professional and personal network everywhere he's been.
So yeah, this is pretty cool. They just took a lot of my photos from my IG and they stuck them in the video. So if you're interested in following me, the link is in the description below. And I could not ask for a better summary of the last 3 years. So that infographic of all the countries, that's all true. So it was like Argentina, Colombia, lots of Europe, lots of Asia. So yeah, that sums up my life neatly since 2019. If you were to say to me, any city, I could tell you someone that's there right now.
And he's seen the nomad community come into the mainstream over the years.
Before the pandemic, I think being a nomad was more kind of a fringe thing. But I think with COVID, it accelerated everything. It's never been easier to be a nomad just because there's so many services catered to nomads. Yeah, so imagine if you were a nomad 20 years ago. Like, how hard would that be? It would be before Airbnb, it would be before co-working spaces existed. And actually just even getting a job online 20 years ago was like next to impossible, right? So now with like the internet and with a lot of jobs we're working remotely, it's just so easy just to like find a place to get settled in, right? If you were to think about booking your tickets, you do that online. How to navigate through a city, Google Maps, finding accommodation, right? Airbnb and other sites as well. So there's a lot of cool things with technology to enable you to get settled on the ground very quickly as a newcomer to a new city.
Those services include co-working spaces, which provide digital nomads places to mingle with unique, creative, or inspiring offerings.
You can co-work where Lisbon meets the Atlantic Ocean.
In a repurposed shipping container.
With a free beer. In a soothing sea of vegetation.
I have to say, seeing them film in Lisbon really makes me miss the city. Just like the people and the culture and just the layout of the city, the geography, everything. Man, I was there for 2 months, but easily it could be in 6 months a year. I mean, there were so many meetups, so many things going on, a lot of remote workers there. And I definitely want to come back to visit and maybe be a nomad there again.
Like Kendall, David says his rent is much cheaper abroad.
So my rent right now is about under $500.
And let's say you were back in San Francisco. For the same amount of space, how much do you think you'd be paying?
I mean, my apartment right now could be easily $3,000, $4,000. So there's this concept called geo-arbitrage, where basically you could take the same salary and then live in a more affordable place. So that's why a lot of nomads go to Bali, to go to Lisbon, to go to Buenos Aires. They usually go to cheaper places, right? No one's nomading in Switzerland, for example, or Norway, because it doesn't make much sense. And so it will allow you to save money. So in my case, yeah, I mean, this apartment that you're seeing right now easily could be $3,000 in San Francisco. So I'm able to save money by doing so.
On a U.S. salary, that might sound like a steal, but for locals, they can and often are priced out.
At this moment, a physician, even working in private sector 14 hours a day, cannot afford a decent house in Lisbon.
Portuguese labor historian Raquel Varela says she's not opposed to people moving to her country.
You want to know other countries, you want to know other people, this is incredibly positive.
But the social activist does take issue with the housing inequality created by foreigners with U.S. dollars and more buying power.
everything enters in the huge game of competition and you smash the majority of the population.
She says governments need to do more to help their own citizens and encourages digital nomads to show respect for the people in the country they call a temporary home by advocating to help them.
So housing is a really big problem in Lisbon. And there's actually a lot of factors, right? Not only digital nomads, but also retirees, expats who move to Portugal to live there long term. And also people who are just travelers, like a lot of Airbnbs, right? So it's just not digital nomads. It's a bigger problem. So I just want to highlight that point.
While some digital nomads have no plans to slow down, for many, it's a short-term lifestyle.
Here we go. And there's the surf coming right up.
Kendall says she plans to return to San Diego after a year and a half overseas, but she's not sure how long she'll stay put.
You think you might leave in November, but you never know what might happen.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. And that's the thing with plans. Like, they always change. This was never part of my plan, but I'm so grateful that I'm here.
Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, Lisbon.
So thank you very much watching me react to myself being on CBS News for this segment. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.